this episode, I'm going to give you my recommendations for week 4 of the fantasy basketball season for the Sleeper app. Now let's make some game picks. Welcome to the Game Pick Fantasy Basketball Podcast. I am your host, Robbin Marx. You can connect with me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Game Pick Podcast. I've been playing fantasy sports for years. Free leagues, money leagues, football, basketball, baseball, category leagues, roto leagues, points leagues, and of course, my favorite, dynasty leagues. And I recently came to the realization that I love fantasy basketball points leagues more than any other format. So when I discovered the Sleeper app and their new game pick format, I knew it was time to launch this program. If you love fantasy basketball, points leagues, dynasty, and sleepers new game pick format, please consider subscribing on all channels. And please stick around until the end because I'm going to share the game pick sleeper of the week. So let's jump into big time game picks for week 4 of the NBA season. Anthony Davis, 4 games, no back-to-backs. He slipped in the rankings due to his health concerns. People call him Mr. Glass, and also he had an underwhelming 2020-21 campaign. He was going in the second round in a ton of drafts. And many of the drafts that I did, I actually scooped him up on the turn because he didn't even go in the first round. And I grabbed players like Beal and KD and even LeBron, and then I would get AD with my second pick, which is crazy. He's showing signs of his dominance this season. On October 26th versus the San Antonio Spurs, he put up a monster line, 35 points, 17 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 blocks. Play him on Wednesday versus Miami. It's a nationally televised game on ESPN. James Harden. James Harden has 4 games this week. They're all away games. And it's worth noting he has no back-to-backs this week. We talked about KD last week, so I had to tap in with one of my favorite fantasy and real-life players, the Beard, James Harden. With Kyrie out and him being out for the foreseeable future, Harden has a chance to be a top 5 fantasy player this year. People were panicking in week 1 and in week 2, but for week 3, the Beard bounced back with his first triple-double of the year. The new foul hunting rule changes have impacted him a bit. And, if you don't know about the rule changes, basically it's for players who are doing abnormal movements, non-basketball movements to draw contact and essentially hunt for fouls. So the referees are cracking down on that. If you want to know more about that and also how it could impact your redraft league, but specifically your dynasty leagues and players who have used that to their advantage and now are having that taken away, let me know if you want me to do an episode on that. I'd love to deep dive on foul hunting and the new rule changes. So I would play James Harden on the Friday at New Orleans. It's his highest projected point total. Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram has 4 games this week, 1 back-to-back on Friday and Saturday. He's been banged up and he's missed time with a hip injury. At the time of recording this episode, he's averaging 25 points a game, 7.3 rebounds, and 4.8 assists. He's been super consistent the last couple of years. With Zion out, he'll continue to perform at a high level. But even with Zion on the floor, Ingram is a great dynasty and redraft investment. I believe he's been greatly undervalued in the fantasy community. I do tons of drafts all season long, and I see him going way later than he should. He's always going a round or 2 later than he should, and then he always outperforms where he was drafted. So if there's an owner out there that maybe feels like he's been a little too banged up this season and they want to move him, I would jump on top of that and try to get Brandon Ingram on your team. He'll be able to coexist with Zion and still put out all-star numbers. Think of him as the Scottie Pippen to Zion's Michael Jordan. Okay. Bam Adebayo. Bam has 4 games this week, including a Wednesday and Thursday back-to-back. He's been banged up or bammed up with right knee soreness, so check his status before you play him. And if he's healthy, I would recommend playing him on the Saturday at Utah. That is also a nationally televised game on NBA TV. Christian Wood. Christian Wood has 3 games, no back-to-backs, and he has 2 days rest before his first game. So I would recommend playing him on the Wednesday versus Detroit for that revenge game. And also keep in mind that he's going to be well rested, and it's going to give you that midweek surge that we look for if you play him on the Wednesday. Steph Curry. Steph Curry has 4 games, no back-to-backs. Curry led the league in scoring last year, and he could repeat as scoring champ if he keeps up this pace. On October 21st versus the LA Clippers, Steph Curry, Chef Curry with the shot, boy, he dropped 45 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 3-pointers. Yo, if you can get Steph Curry, grab him. If you don't have him on your team, I feel sorry for you. I definitely have a few Curry shares on some of my rosters, so I'm really hyped about that. If you have Steph Curry, or if you trade for him this week, play him on Sunday at Charlotte. It should be a good face-off against LaMelo Ball, and I'm sure he's going to want to show off and show out against the young buck. Paul George. Paul George has 4 games this week, all at home, including a back-to-back, actually, Saturday versus Minnesota and Sunday versus Chicago. Paul George has been a model of consistency over the years. He's feasting right now with Kawhi being out. On October 23rd, he dropped 41 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, and he put up some defensive numbers with 2 steals. People forget that he was actually an MVP candidate a couple of years ago. So if you have Paul George, I would strongly recommend playing him on the Saturday versus Minnesota. Now it's time for our game pick sleeper of the week. This week, we're going to go with Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards has 4 games, including a back-to-back on Friday and Saturday. Anthony Edwards is the truth. I mean, his rookie season, he started out very slow, and he got dropped in a lot of leagues, especially dynasty leagues. Like I'm in a couple of dynasty leagues, and Anthony Edwards was floating around on the waiver wire in the early part of the season last year. Today, I would say that this guy has top 50 upside. Some would probably even argue top 25 upside. Anthony Edwards is the truth. If you have him on your dynasty teams, hold on to him. You haven't seen anything. This brother is 20 years old. He is only 20 years old, so sky's the limit for Anthony Edwards. I would play him on Monday at Memphis for that face-off with Ja Morant. It's actually his highest projected point output. Did I fail to mention your player? I can't possibly give picks for every player in the league, but if you drop a comment with your request, I'll gladly give you game picks for your players. Please join our brand new Discord group. If you need help with game picks, trades, dynasty questions, team names, the works, all you have to do is hit the link in the YouTube description of this episode. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, share with a friend, hit us with a Hacksaw Jim Duggan, which is a thumbs up, and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you absolutely crushed your league this week. Now get out there and make some game picks.